So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are keeping well. Guys, I want to give a shout out to EK. My man EK. EK is a great guy. He always contributes in my live streams, and I love EK's opinion. He always sends me good posts on Instagram, and I think he might have sent me something which is going to determine who Mr. Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to fight next. I said I would do this video. I had some information, and I think all of you have this information. It's been, Charlo on his Instagram. Jermall Charlo on his Instagram has dropped a hint. He's dropped a hint. He's dropped a massive hint. Jermall Charlo was on Instagram. He posted a video of him shadow boxing. And on that video, he had a pen sign. And a lot of people are speculating, what's he getting at with that pen sign? Is Jermall Charlo telling Saul Canelo Alvarez to sign the contract? Or is Jermall Charlo telling Saul Canelo Alvarez that I've signed the contract? Because we know that last week, Jermall Charlo went on his Instagram. And on his Instagram, Jermall Charlo said, the biggest fight in the super middleweight division is very close. He said something like that. And now he's dropped another hint a week later with a pen sign, leaving fans speculating. What does he mean by that pen sign? I can only think of two things. He's either telling Canelo to sign the contract, or he's letting people know that he signed the contract. Now, for me, I reckon that obviously Canelo would be the last one to sign off, because I think Canelo would make the final decision. So he'd probably want Jermall Charlo to agree terms, and then obviously it's them that make the final decision, whether they're going to fight Jermall Charlo. This is very exciting news, as I explained in my video previously, that this is a massive fight. And I just feel it needs to happen. I feel like for Canelo, for Charlo, for PBC, I think it needs to happen. I think it needs to happen. And I am now very edging, or when I mean edging, I think Jermall Charlo is a favorite to get that fight for some reason. I just think that he's going to fight Jermall Charlo. I might be wrong, and Canelo might go an opposite direction. Eddie Hearn, here's another thing. Eddie Hearn has also mentioned a Dimitri Bivol fight. Eddie Hearn has talked about that he wants to make... Now, Eddie Hearn can only make that fight. There's no other guy that he has that Canelo would be interested in to fight apart from Demetrius Andrade and possibly Golovkin. But Eddie Hearn is saying that he's offered Dimitri Bivol to Canelo Alvarez for a fight. Now, that's a good fight. It doesn't cut it for me in the sense that I think Charlo's a much bigger fight, and I think Charlo is an easier fight. And financially, I think Charlo's probably going to be financially more lucrative. But then having said that, DAZN are a big platform, and DAZN would be willing to pay a lot of money to Canelo for him being on their platform. But in my opinion, once Canelo makes that move to 175, the Charlo fight's out the question. He can't fight Charlo. So he can have a Charlo fight and then fight Dimitri Bivol in the future. But if he goes to 175 and fights Bivol, then that kills a lot of fights. That potentially kills the Andrade fight, kills the Charlo fight. I don't think he has that much interest in fighting Andrade anyway. Benavidez fight will still be there because Benavidez can come to 175. But the Charlo fight, because I don't think Charlo's going to come to 175 to fight Canelo. He's just not. And once Canelo moves to 175 permanently, he's not going to come back down. So for me, the Bivol fight can wait. But the Charlo fight is there to make now. Do you see what I mean? Because Canelo's an undisputed champion at 168. Charlo's not going to go above 168 to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's just not. He's not big enough. He's not going to come up that way. You know, we were already hearing that he wanted Canelo to a catch weight at 164. He didn't want to go to 168, which I think would be kind of crazy, because why would Jermall Charlo want a catch weight when he has potentially an opportunity to become an undisputed champion at 168? So for me, I think I'm edging, after seeing all of that, I'm edging towards a Jermall Charlo fight. I think Canelo will fight Jermall Charlo. Personally, that's just my opinion. I think that is going to be the fight that happens next. Just going off what I'm seeing and the way Oscar's talking, I think people behind the scenes, they know a lot more than us. Do you know what I mean? And when you hear Oscar say, well, Canelo should fight Jermall Charlo, he's earned the right. Canelo's going to be the one that's going to make the final decision. So Oscar can say what he wants. Eddie can say what he wants. And as Eddie pointed out, that everyone's going to go with an offer to Canelo Alvarez. Everybody's going to put their offer to him. PBC are going to go, and Eddie Hearn is going to put an offer out there. And, you know, ESPN will probably make a move. But Canelo's going to do what he wants to do. Canelo's going to make a move. Canelo's going to pick who he wants to pick. You know, Canelo's going to choose who he wants to choose, which is fair enough. Canelo's earned the right at this point in his career, with the career that he's had, that he can pick and choose what he wants. He's the biggest, you know, fighter in the sport, biggest name, biggest cash cow. He deserves to be in that position. I hope Jermall Charlo gets the nod. I'm excited about any Canelo fight. It's Canelo at the end of the day. But I think the Jermall Charlo fight is definitely a fight which I think they're probably edging towards now. It makes a lot of sense. And I think that's going to be the fight that, you know, Canelo decides to take. Going off what we're seeing on social media and what it seems like Canelo's edging towards, the fact that Jermall Charlo is putting it. But listen, Jermall Charlo could be sending that message to Caleb Plant. Who knows? But I just don't think that fight's that big, right? I don't think that fight's that big. And the fact that I think Jermall Charlo said it's the biggest super middleweight fight, I just don't think the Caleb Plant fight is the biggest super middleweight fight. So I don't think Jermall Charlo would have that kind of energy with that fight the way he does with Canelo. So I personally see, in my opinion, Canelo Alvarez will possibly fight Jermall Charlo next, which will blow the socks off, which will be huge. But that's a big indicator, you know, Jermall Charlo putting on his story that signed the contract, which means that there's definitely be offers back and forth. Now, we have heard rumors that there's offers back and forth, right? So is that an indication of Jermall telling Canelo that signed the contract, I've done my end? Who knows? Maybe Jermall signed the contract that day. That's why he put that post out there. He put that post out there, I've signed my part, now it's your turn. Maybe he's just signed the contract. We just don't know. Maybe he signed his end, or maybe he's waiting for Canelo to sign his end. We just don't know. We just don't know. But I am very, very excited if that fight happens. I will be very, very excited. Very, very excited. Because it's a great fight. Stylistically, it's a beautiful fight. It's a great fight for the fans. Two big names. It's just a great fight, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. I just wish, you know, these big name fighters like your Mayweathers, Canelos, they don't make us keep waiting like this. Just get it over and done with. I feel like sometimes the weight of the fight and who these big cash cows are gonna fight is almost an intrigue, as much as, you know, the build up to the fight when it's announced. I feel like just this, we're waiting. Literally, Canelo's got the whole boxing scene on lock. Like, everybody's waiting, who's Canelo gonna fight? Who's this? Like, everyone's making videos about it, and it's crazy. But that's just people like us that are hardcore boxing fans. And when it's Canelo Alvarez, who is the biggest star in the sport, when he's got us on edge like this, we're all waiting. Like, who's he gonna fight? Who's he gonna fight? Who's gonna be the guy that potentially could go in and try beat or dethrone Canelo at this point? You know, and it seems like Jermall Charlo will possibly be that guy, and I'm excited for that fight. Listen, I've seen a lot of people say it's a cherry pick and Canelo's cherry picking. I honestly, like, I know Campus said that he thinks that it's a cherry pick. At this point, I don't know what isn't a cherry pick. Like, what isn't classified as a cherry pick? Is Andrade a cherry pick? Is a Benavidez fight a cherry pick? I don't know what's a cherry pick at this point, because we're basically saying Canelo fighting undefeated world champions is a cherry pick. Like, is Canelo's standards that high now? You know, where him fighting undefeated champions is a cherry pick. I don't quite understand. Like, there's, you know, we can't create superhumans, you know, for Canelo to fight, you know, or create robots for Canelo to fight that are, you know, extremely gifted so they can just beat him. You know, he can only fight what's out there. And Jermall Charlo is amongst some, you know, some of the best fighters that 160 and 168. So I don't know what fans want from Canelo. I don't know who they want him to fight. I'm pretty sure within time he'll fight your 175 pounders. But Joe Smith, for example, Joe Smith at 175 is for me, that's an easy fight for Canelo. I don't think that's a very challenging fight. But Smith is a champion at 175. That could be really said that's a cherry pick. But if he wants to clean up at 175, he has to fight Smith. Otherwise, he can't become undisputed at 175. So is that really a cherry pick? This is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we expect too much from Canelo. Sometimes we view him as a superhuman when he's not. He's human after all. So I feel like we need to chill out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? We need to chill out with this pressure on Canelo. I get the fans want to see Canelo tested all the time and push the limit. But I think we need to lower our standards a little bit. You know, what this guy is doing in fighting undefeated world champions back to back is unheard of. So, you know, you got to respect that. You know, and all of these guys are in their prime, by the way. Callum Smith was in his prime. Billy Joe was in his prime. Caleb Plant's in his prime. Jermall Charlo's in his prime. These are all prime. And he's blowing them out. So you got to respect that. You got to respect Canelo's hustle. You got to respect Canelo's resume. I just don't know why people keep discrediting it. I think you have to respect it. But personally, I am edging towards Charlo now. Hopefully, and by the time before this video even gets out, maybe there's some more news which comes out, which actually completely puts out another opponent out there, and I'm like, oh my god, I've just made a video, and I'm like, what's going on? But yeah, let's see. I hope it's Charlo. I'm excited. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Jermall Charlo putting up that Instagram post is a sign of him saying he's going to fight Canelo Alvarez? Or do you think it's just another a misleading post? I don't know. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.